Welcome to Knowledge Nuggets. Let's learn together. The end of the Cold War. Two leaders who changed everything. Hey, peace detectives! Today we're talking about the Cold War, a super long, scary time that lasted from 1945 all the way to 1991. It was called the Cold War because the United States and the Soviet Union were enemies, but they never actually fought each other directly with big armies. Instead, it was a war of ideas, spies, secret plans, and threats. Both sides built huge numbers of nuclear bombs and missiles, and everyone worried that one wrong move could end the world. This made the Cold War very different from World War I or World War II. There were no massive battles between the two main enemies, but the fear and tension were everywhere. The United States and the Soviet Union had been allies against Hitler during World War II, but once the war was over, they disagreed about almost everything. The United States wanted free countries where people could vote for their leaders, own their own businesses, speak freely, and travel where they wanted. The Soviet Union wanted communism, a system where the government controlled factories, farms, schools, newspapers, and even what people could say. They believed that would make everyone equal, but in reality, it meant very little freedom. In 1946, British leader Winston Churchill gave a famous speech and said that an iron curtain had come down across Europe. That phrase stuck because it sounded so strong and scary. The Iron Curtain wasn't really made of iron. It was a nickname for the invisible but very real wall of control that separated free Western Europe from communist Eastern Europe. The line roughly followed the border where the Soviet army had stopped advancing at the end of World War II. West of the line were countries like West Germany, France, Italy, and Britain. These were free places where people could vote, start businesses, read any newspaper, listen to any music, and travel abroad. East of the line were countries like East Germany, Poland, Czechoslovakia, Hungary, and Romania. These places were controlled by the Soviet Union. In those countries, the government decided what jobs people had, what they could say, and what they could read. People couldn't easily leave. Secret police watched everyone, and many families were split apart because they couldn't cross the border to see relatives. Life on the western side felt freer and more colorful. Life on the eastern side often felt gray, controlled, and frightening. By the 1980s, two leaders decided enough was enough. Margaret Thatcher, the Prime Minister of Great Britain from 1979 to 1990, grew up helping in her family's small grocery shop. She studied hard, became a scientist, then a lawyer, and finally a politician. People called her the Iron Lady because she was tough, believed in strong rules, and never backed down when she thought she was right. Across the ocean, Ronald Reagan, the President of the United States from 1981 to 1989, had been a movie actor and the governor of California. He loved telling jokes, believed in American freedom, and thought the government should stay out of people's way as much as possible. Both Thatcher and Reagan believed the same big ideas. They thought government should be smaller so people and businesses could do better on their own. Taxes should be lower so families could keep more of their money, and countries should be strong enough to stand up to bullies. They thought too much government control, like in the Soviet Union, took away freedom and made life harder. They wanted conservative values like hard work, strong families, personal responsibility, and a powerful military to keep everyone safe. Thatcher and Reagan became great friends. They talked on the phone often, visited each other, and agreed on how to handle the Soviet Union. Reagan spent money to build stronger weapons and called the Soviet Union an evil empire. He even stood in front of the Berlin Wall in 1987 and sent a message to the leader of the Soviet Union, General Secretary Gorbachev. He said loudly, "Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall." Thatcher supported him and pushed Europe to stand strong too. Their tough but smart teamwork made the Soviet economy struggle. The Soviet leaders couldn't keep up with the West's technology and money. People in Eastern Europe started demanding freedom. In 1989, the Berlin Wall fell, and in 1991, the Soviet Union broke apart. The Cold War was over. No more Iron Curtain, and no more constant fear of nuclear war. Thanks to Thatcher and Reagan's courage and friendship, the world became safer and freer. Their ideas about smaller government, personal freedom, and standing up to bullies still help countries today. It shows that when good leaders work together, even the scariest problems can end. What a happy ending! Before we go, let's do a quick check on learning. Here are 5 questions for you awesome peacemakers. Question 1. What was the Cold War? A fight of ideas between the Soviet Union and the United States, with no literal fighting. Good job. Question 2. Who gave the famous Iron Curtain speech? Winston Churchill. Question 3. Who was the Prime Minister of Britain who was called the Iron Lady? Margaret Thatcher. Nice work. Question 4. Which US president worked with Margaret Thatcher to end the Cold War? Ronald Reagan. Last question. Question 5. When did the Cold War end? In 1991. Great job! Share your answers in the comments and tell us what you think makes a great leader. See you on the next adventure.